Good evening and welcome everyone to the zoo. Today is Friday and the minions with me this evening are Tyr,
What up?
Adam,
Hello.
and as it is once again a Friday, but not the first Friday of the month, and not a Friday where I am driving home after being diurnal for a fucking week, I'm the keeper for this evening, Sanguine. How are you both doing tonight?
I'm good.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been a week since the trip, man.
Yep, it was a fun time.
What'd
And I'm doing well. I had a fantastic dinner this evening.
you have?
It was pork shoulder steak that I did a quick marinade of some sakura shoyu, ginger, garlic, blitzed that up, marinated the pork shoulder steak in that for like 30 minutes. Did charred corn rice, a bit of a charred corn salad, and then did daikon radish 3 different ways.
Ooh.
One of them pickled, one of the ways was pickled, one of the ways was seared, and one of the ways was simmered. And then I did a quick green sauce of cilantro, a bit of shoyu, some garlic, and a bit of sesame oil and chili oil.
Mm-hmm.
So when the pork was done, sliced it up, spooned that sauce over top of that, served that on top of the bowl of charred corn rice with the seared daikon radish on the bowl, and then the pickled daikon radish with some steamed dumplings, and then the simmered daikon radish in a bowl on the side.
Okay.
Absolutely delicious. And the drinks were Asahi, Taiku Black, and Sadashi.
Ah.
It was an amazing dinner.
I would
Yeah,
assume
sounds
it was.
delicious.
It does.
So, anything special happen with you guys?
And tomorrow, the last day of my vacation, I don't want to go back to work.
Was it just I need to use time before the end of the year, so I'll take off this week, or was it for something special?
I just need to use. They give me the way our leave is set up. We have 4 weeks. Depending on how long you've been there. If you've been there more than 15 years, you get 5 weeks. 4 weeks and 6 days. So I had a month of. I spread my leave out. I take one for my birthday, take one for my mom's birthday. So that's March and October, and then I take 2 in spring, 1 in June, and then I take 1 in August. So yeah. So my last vacation of the year is coming in October.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at my leave and figuring out how much I have use or lose before the end of the year, and figuring out, okay, when do I want to take this?
I know some guys that save up all their leave for the year, and they have use or lose, and they take like months at a time off in December.
Unfortunately, my job has a cap of 2 weeks unless you get prior approval.
So the way our leave system works is, instead of getting official days, like you don't get days, you get hours every 2. Again, it works on how long you've been there. If you've been there more than about 15 years, you get 8 hours of sick and 8 hours of annual per pay period. So people save up their leave all year long, and like they have 200 hours that they need to get rid of. So again, they take like months off.
Yeah, like I said, for us, it's all down to if you want to take more than 2 weeks. You can take 2 weeks without any issue, as long as no one else is taking those to the point where that day is blocked off. But if you're taking it and there's no issues with scheduling, you can take up to 2 weeks in a row without any issue. If you try to do more than 2 weeks, you need prior approval.
Okay.
But we also do the same thing of you get a certain number of hours per week.
Makes sense. But that's just probably that's what you use to so you can keep getting paid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that shit. We bid for it and we bid for our vacation time in November, December, November, around that time frame for the upcoming year, and then they kind of try to plot their stuff around the days they have off. So I know that I'm gonna keep the Wednesday Thursday schedule, or fucking try at least. So I will plot to have Monday, Tuesday off to have longer weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, one good thing I love about my job, how our leave works. God damn it.
For me, I always tend to take off chunks of leave rather than individual days.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you take off any day in the week, then you can't get OT that week.
Oh, I know a guy that double dips. He'll take off vacation days. He'll officially be on vacation, but he'll work for somebody.
Yep.
So effectively, he's double dipping, which is technically legal.
Yeah, our policy doesn't allow that, which is the irksome part.
I understand.
It would be really nice if it did, because I would take off more time and work more OT in order to get my paycheck looking nicer.
See that I think that's where our system kind of comes in conflict, because you don't get, if you swap for somebody, you don't get, it doesn't count as overtime. It's straight time. So that's why you can work, technically have off, but work for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically it's all straight time. He's not getting OT for it.
Fair enough.
So that's the sucky part.
Mm-hmm.
But that also means like you can work up to so I've seen people work up like the 80 extra hours. Yes, they do that. I don't know why. In like a 2-week span.
Mm-hmm.
So. But that again, I guess that's government work. Motherfucker.
Yeah, government work is always strange. Hello, Cryptic. How goes?
Secret Asian man. How you been, Secret Asian man? But yes, that is the nature of government work. What is that I was about to say?
So what do you think about the whole Putin-Trump meeting today?
But
Ed, you first.
I was about to say, if Ukraine wanted to be part of these peace talks, they should have fucking came to the table and been a part of these peace talks.
I don't know if they were invited.
They weren't invited this time, just like Russia wasn't invited during the U.S.-Ukraine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think because I think he said Trump said at the speech afterward, or the press conference afterwards, that he was going to call Zelensky after, but I mean they ended it short. They passed on the luncheon and they both flew back to the capitals. The other thing was apparently there was a notification going around where there's supposed to be a training exercise at the White House, and they might hear some gunfire. So some weird shit going on, man.
That's interesting.
Look, I think it was the same. Someone said this that and I think it was really interesting. Putin wants what he can't. Not Putin. Zelensky wants what he can't take back on his own, which is the Donbass region and whatnot. Putin wants what he controls but can't keep, or something to that effect. And I think the saying is perfect. And because of that, this war is going to drag on for a little longer.
What Putin wants reunification of empire.
I don't even think it's that. I think he wants, like, you can't be a part of NATO. I won't have you on my front door. Which is
don't think it's just that. I legitimately think he wants reunification of empire. He's using the NATO line, which I've gone on record my opinion of that. I think that NATO fucked up the moment that it didn't go, oh, the USSR fell. Let's see if any of these people want to join our fuck communism team, because NATO was not designed to curtail Russia. NATO was designed to curtail communists. And the strongest communists at the time were the USSR. It should have stayed as a fuck communism group rather than what
Russia.
A lot of European nations have tried to turn it into, which is it's there to prevent Russia. That shouldn't have been the case. It should have been, it's there to prevent communism. If Russia isn't communist, and they also decided, you know what, fuck communism, it should have been, hey, do you want to join our fuck communism team?
I honestly think we should have. We shouldn't be involved in anyone's war that isn't our own. I don't think we should be funding anybody's anything.
And I think if there's a valid justification for how it benefits the U.S., sure. If a ally that we agreed, if you're attacked, then we count it as us as we're attacked. Yeah.
Yes.
If it's something that we can't justify as a benefit for us, that we can't go, well, we have an agreement that we would back up this group, then yeah, I don't see why we should be jumping into everything, which is why I'm rather happy with we're going to make more peace than we are anything else, because we could have jumped into the India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Wait, was it
Pakistan?
No, it's
was it Pakistan? Okay, I don't know why I'm thinking Bangladesh. Which group is Bangladesh?
Bangladesh is fighting. Shit, I can't remember. They're fighting another, but they just signed a peace deal recently.
Yeah, there's another conflict that involves them, I think. But yeah, when there's those wars, yeah, if we have the ability to go, hey, knock this shit off, let's get back to a peace table, fuck yeah. I'm all for that. I'm against jumping into it again unless there's a legitimate U.S. interest.
Again, I don't. Allies, sure. And I want allies that aren't fucking fair weather friends, like fucking Canada. The only reason why I'm protecting you is because you're literally at my border. And if you get attacked, 9 times out of 10, those motherfuckers gonna come close to touch me. So I get helping you, but you're a fucking fair weather friend. You suck Chinese cock a lot more than you should. Now I ask you to suck my dick, but I'm gonna ask you not to suck on Chinese cock. And Mexico,
how gleefully they tried to go, well, fuck America, elbows up, everyone elbows up, everyone elbows up. We'll make deals with China. And I'm going, you dumb fucks.
China
they
is
don't like you either.
China is on paper a paper tiger. It has a vast population, But with that vast population, they are totally fucking rebelling. Mm-hmm. Like they are one bad day from open civil fucking war. Mm-hmm. You know, and their infrastructure is shit. Their innovation is technically shit. Like, what's the last innovation that came out of China?
They don't really have innovation. What they have, and this is something that has been driving me crazy when I see people talk about this, because people point to, well, look at their battery tech, and I'm going, yes, let's look at their battery tech. It's stolen from Korea, Japan, the US. And we know that it's stolen from Korea, Japan, and the US because we have the documented instances of them stealing the technology.
Yes. Now they have a more what's the word I'm looking for? Like they can appear homogenous in a sense. What's the word? How I want to?
What they have is they have a streamlined production line.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And they will take the information from disparate groups and then they'll kind of mush it together. I don't even want to say that they're synthesizing the information. They're just kind of mashing it.
You're right.
Because synthesis is when you take different ideas and you're able to create something with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that isn't really what's happening. What's happening is that they'll go, well, this and this, mash them together. And it's not really creating something new. It's just they're using those two things together rather than using those two things to make something else.
Again,
there's a difference.
Again, it is. I'd rather have Baxter pointed out in chat. I would rather rather Russia be on our side than on China's.
Yep.
But even then, I don't think that alliance would fucking fully. It's a long-standing not hatred between the two, but their borders are far too close for them to be good friends.
Oh, they dislike each other profoundly.
Yeah, and I'd rather them dislike each other than be unified in their hatred against me.
Yep.
Like, if they're at each other, even if they're not at each other's throats, but they're always eyeing each other up like fucking wolves. Oh, well, this one's weak. Let's see if we can grab some shit. It's better for me. Yeah. I don't want to push them further into China's arms. Shit, I'd rather try to get well, we'll never get North Korea decoupled from China, but I'm glad that South Korea is on our side, at least marginally.
Oh, South Korea fucking hates China.
Well, yeah, because they back North Korea.
Because they back North Korea, because they're stealing their technology constantly, because they're polluting their waters, they're stealing their fish. There's all kinds of reasons why they fucking hate
Did
China.
You see the incident on the I believe it was around the Philippines where
the
Philippines
ships,
they collided? Yeah, the Chinese
Yep,
Chinese ships collided.
2 Chinese ships were trying to harass a Filipino ship out of Filipino national waters.
Yeah, they were protecting a fishing boat.
Yep. And the Chinese ships trying to harass the ship out of their own waters, out of the Filipino waters again, ended up trying to ram the Filipino ship. The Filipino ship slipped the Chinese ships, and the Chinese ships rammed each other.
Yep.
And the immediate response was hilarious from the Filipinos, because the Filipinos immediately radioed over to the Chinese and went, do you need some help?
Would you like some assistance? Would you like the contact support?
Well, I mean, that also in terms of, I guess, Asian water news. There was a Japanese, I believe, a destroyer that went off course and went into Chinese water, and the Chinese fired upon them, and the Japanese left the area. But I guess it was something about the GPS issues. Their mapping systems were off chart or something like that.
Yep. They sent the Ladybug Brigade in your Hellcat.
But yeah, the Chinese have been trying to invade everyone else's waters as well as international waters. And they've been doing this for years now, which is why the U.S. keeps on doing freedom of movement exercises in the South China Sea, which some people get really pissed off about.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that is important to my mind, keeping the freedom of movement exercises going. Because
I hate to say this.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm about to say, I hate to say this, but at some point, we're going to need to curtail China. China's going to need to be brought to heel.
Yeah.
Like, it can't keep, just doing shit without, true ramifications. At some point, we're going to need to, put them in their fucking place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a massive not going to be a massive undertaking. It's going to be a terribly long weekend.
Yeah, and there's a number of things that could be done in order to really curtail China. One of the easiest ones to my mind, and it's something that I'm pissed off that we haven't done yet, is, do you know why shipping from China is so fucking cheap?
Because they're why?
Because it is currently being subsidized by the developed world. So, shipping globally, there's a bit of international agreement where developed nations will subsidize shipping to and from developing nations.
China isn't a developing nation.
Trying to spur their economy. That makes it so that they can produce things and ship to and from developed nations more economically for their system. And it makes it so that they're actually able to afford international shipping, because otherwise it would be prohibitively expensive.
Okay.
We currently consider China a developing nation still?
No, China isn't a developing nation. There's nothing developing about China. China is when you get superpower status, you lose developing nation.
Well,
can you be a developing nation if you have ghost cities?
You shouldn't be able to, but you can. And the aggravating thing is that it is, by many of the criteria for developing nations, a developing nation. It has rather low GDP per capita. It has rather low median income. It has all the economic hallmarks of a developing nation. The thing is, it doesn't act like a developing nation.
But the problem is with that saying, when they're abusing that system,
which is what I was getting to. It doesn't act like a developing nation. What it does is it uses the developing nation status in order to undercut its global adversaries, as they see them, in ways that should be curtailed, in ways that should be dealt with. But again, because they're currently considered developing nations, their shipping is subsidized. So it is oftentimes cheaper to ship something from Chengdu to the US than it is to ship something from Southern California to Northern Maine.
They're still getting foreign aid from the U.S. and the UK. No, they shouldn't be getting any. Again, look, I don't see the benefit in supporting my enemies. Like that makes no fucking sense to me. Like, oh, you openly say that you want me to be destroyed. why am I giving you $500 so you can openly say you want to be destroyed?
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. But what we should do is we should stop subsidizing their shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And we should stop sending the sorts and the amounts of foreign aid that we currently are. There's some things that I'm more or less okay with sending food aid to starving regions.
Yes, I'm okay with sending. All right, I'm an isolationist. I don't think we should be sent unless everyone in America has food, which we do. You can get food readily and available.
Yeah, we're at the point where, for the first time in human history, poor people in a civilization are more likely to die from diseases of abundance than diseases of want.
Yes, like the meat,
overweight,
obesity.
With taxpayer dollars going towards any humanitarian aid for sure, but it needs to be ultra transparent and ultra audited. Like it's not even because that's where a lot of the money laundering is going towards.
That's what I was going to get
to. These programs that say, yeah, we're going to try and help people, but it's just going towards all these bureaucratic and hey, we need to hire 100 people to work at the staffing agency to do this, and all the money's going to them. And
I got an idea
what I was
for
going to lay out, because, like I said, I'm more or less okay with sending food aid to developing or to areas that are hit by famine, for instance. What I have far less agreement with is long-term food aid, because we've actually looked at the effects of long-term food aid. And if you have long-term food aid going to a region, do you think that increases the number of people in food production in that region or decreases?
It decreases.
Decreases. So you end up with an area that was already
completely reliant.
Food insecure, becoming even more food insecure and totally reliant upon aid. I'm against that. I don't want regions to become totally reliant. What I do want is, if there's a natural disaster, absolutely help an area.
Well, yeah. Again, when there's something it's something out of the woodwork that just randomly happens. Fine, I can feed you, but
having food insecurity, we can help them for a period of time. I think what the help should entail is it should start off with majority food aid. Then, as the aid continues, it should go from food aid, where we're sending them food, to, okay, we've sent you food for this amount of time. Now we're going to send you food as well as experts.
Or we're going to fucking send you seeds.
Okay. Well, hold on.
That's what I'm saying when it comes to the experts. It would be the things that you need in order to actually be able to produce food for yourself. And to produce food for yourself reliably. Go ahead, Adam.
First, I'm going to say these experiments have already been done, and it's been proven failed to an extent of whether the success rate of these experiments have done is up to question. But I don't think we should spend U.S. tax dollars should be spent on those kind of experiments around the world anymore until we fix our local problems. And that goes back to the EBT card. I'd like to, Sanguine, what do you think about the cutting back of? There's been a lot of people whose EBT card numbers have been cut down, and they're pretty pissed off. And a lot of items are no longer allowed to be purchased with the EBT cards.
Oh no!
I think that if you're getting money from the government to supplement your food budget, that it should be just that. It should be a supplement to your food budget. If we find out that you're trying to make it your entire food budget, you fucked up. If we find out that you're spending that money on things other than your food, you fucked up.
Well, I mean, a lot of the blowback has been with the types of food that are able to purchase.
Yep.
So, Sanguine, hold on, really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
So with that other ship, all right. Now there are quite a few times where I'll go to the market up by my house, which is in a black neighborhood. People will try to quote unquote sell me food stamps. They'll give me, oh well, you're getting this. You're gonna pay about $20. You give me $10, and I'll buy all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, on paper, it's going to food.
Yep.
However, in practice, they're selling those food stamps for physical cash.
Yep.
So
And that I have problems with.
and
Like,
I have problems with that too.
Something that I want transparency when it comes to shit like that. Because, again, if someone is having trouble getting enough to make ends meet as far as their food, yeah, I want to have things in place to help them. Ideally, from my perspective, I would want that to be entirely optional things that people have provided to. I'm a big fan of soup kitchens. I'm a big fan of the food service programs that pop up in various areas where they go, hey, you're having trouble making ends meet? Come to us. We're a local pantry.
Yeah, that's a pantry.
And you can come to us. We'll help you get things in order to have your nutrient needs met. I'm all for that.
When I was living in Washington,
I'll be back. I'm giving me a drink of water.
Yep.
For sure. There was food banks that local farmers would donate a lot of their produce, and you can get food there on very cheap. I mean, you'd have to be, fixed on their schedule to do it. But I mean, mainly to get the best of the produce before it starts. Yeah, it's probably no good anymore. But
yeah, before the quality starts to go down, because there's only so many beautiful apples in the bushel that they bring over. Some of them, they aren't bad apples, but they don't look pretty.
Hey, how's it going, Johnny? But yeah, no. I mean, me personally, I think it should, if they're going to start removing items from the EBT selection, I don't see that as a big problem, only because it should be getting you to look more towards not easy to make meals, but you're supposed to start prepping these meals, because it's supposed to get you to start doing, providing, you getting a job. You have to start working.
Yep.
And the thing I find funny is, and again, you're just no, but as a working person, I don't have an option to just go and get some free food somewhere and supply myself with that shit. It's like they expect me to fucking budget that out of my own fucking earnings. Yeah, it's like, okay, well,
that I did a while ago, because do you guys remember when I did about a month of I lived off SNAP level funding?
Yes.
Where I would have my one meal a day, because I typically eat one meal a day, sometimes two. But everything that I got as far as a food item, other than like salt and shit like that, I had to get for $42 a week. And I did that for 4 weeks straight. What I found out was the first week was the hardest, and then every week after that became ridiculously easier versus the previous week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of shit that you should be looking at. How can I eat affordably? If you're having trouble making ends meet, I'm not saying starve. I'm not saying just eat mashed potatoes every day. Though if you aren't someone that cares about what food you're eating and you're just one of the sustenance eaters, because there are sustenance eaters. There's people that they don't get enjoyment out of eating food. they eat because, well, if I don't eat, I'm going to die.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a sustenance eater, mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Just get mashed potatoes. Because mashed potatoes, made with cream or milk and butter, is a nutritionally complete meal. If you eat your daily calories and mashed potatoes, you're good to go. You won't fucking die.
No, I'm
Mhm.
talking about the people who are
But
looking at it like they need their Pop Tarts and soda.
Yeah.
and those people, I'm sorry, you don't need your Pop Tarts. What you do need is you need food. And like with my 4 weeks of it, there's ways of doing that. And I had really damn good meals during those 4 weeks. None of them did I feel like, oh, this is just disgusting slop that I had to make. No, all of my meals were really damn good. I just had to be reasonable about how I was making them. So, protein. Yeah, you aren't going to be able to buy a A5 Wagyu on $42 a week.
No.
You're going to be able to buy 2 whole chickens. And that's if you're eating a hell of a lot of meat. If you're eating what is recommended by most people, the 4 to 6 ounces of meat, if you buy 1 chicken, you're getting between 4 to 16 meals. So 4 meals if you eat a pound of meat at a meal, 16 if you eat that 4 ounces a meal. And you can do a lot of things with chicken.
Dude.
I kind of
You
crippled
can.
myself when I was doing the $42 a week, because what I did was I didn't want to change how I ate. So I was going to eat a pound of meat a day, just like I do normally. And I wanted to have interesting flavors. So I did that with my menu. But if you aren't eating a pound of meat, which most people, you don't need to eat a pound of meat. 1 chicken, if you're eating 8 ounces of meat a day, that gives you 8 meals. If you're eating 4 ounces, that gives you 16.
Bro, honestly, like when I was growing up, my family didn't have a lot.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I guess this is gonna give me that brown label, but my mom's made she would make enough beans and rice for a week, and then either we might have some chicken with it, we might have some beef with it, we might have some pork with it, but we'd still have beans and rice and fucking tortillas. That's it. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't like we were sitting there like, oh yeah, we gotta. You had a couple major ingredients. She had a big fucking tub of flour. That was the main thing that she had is a big tub of flours.
Yeah.
And so that way she was able to do what she needed to do in terms of the cooking, and then the rice and the beans and stuff.
Yep.
It's like that to me is like, okay, you got food stamps. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get beans, rice, and flour. And you're going to go and make yourself your fucking stable food and some bread. Although
Yeah,
I can never make a circle tortilla. They
And-
always came oblong.
Grab some fruit as well. That way you don't have to worry about scurvy.
Oh well, yeah, that too.
But see,
But
that's
I
the
didn't-
problem
I
with
didn't-
shit.
I didn't eat the fruit with the, because some people put mango with their like rice and beans or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, you can do mango salsa.
Yeah, or salsa or something like that. I mean, honestly, I would just be like, okay, food's done. Now I'm gonna dig into this pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you were saying, Chair?
I was going to say, so People don't think like that though. Like they don't think in those terms. So now instead of making shit for lunch for making shit by hand essentially. Oh no, or making a big ass pot of beans and then adding shit to. Oh well, we already got the essential ingredient to every dish that I will make for about a week. Okay, so now I'm gonna add chicken, and we're gonna turn this shit into tacos. Well, now I'm gonna add. Not only am I gonna add the beans, I'm gonna add motherfucking ground beef, and now I got like stew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of different things that you can do, and you can do them for reasonable prices. I have expensive meals. I have cheap meals.
Mm-hmm.
If I was having to live on a budget, which every now and then I will, just to make it so I can throw shit into savings, then I have very different meals than when I'm on just I want to eat whatever the fuck I want to eat. Because when I'm doing weeks where I just want to eat a lot, that's the weeks that you'll see like I have 4 steaks in a week.
Or
because
steak streak.
Yeah, I fucking love steak. And I'll get good steaks. I'll get ribeyes and New York strips and hanger steaks and good shit like that.
But sounds tasty.
If I'm doing, or I'll get lamb leg and lamb chops and shit like that. There's pricey meals that I make, and then there's cheap meals. Some of the cheap meals that I make are chicken fried rice. That's ridiculously cheap. You get some chicken thighs, you get some rice, you get an egg, you get green onion. Smack those together in the right amounts and at the right timing, and you have chicken fried rice. It's delicious. And you can make that on the cheap. And if you're trying to pace things out for the week, you can make like 3-4 days of chicken fried rice and then just portion it out.
Shit. When I cook lunch for the week, I'll cook enough in that one sitting for. All right, so I'll cut up a half of thing of scrap. I'll cut that into 10, and I'll have that for breakfast with an egg and cheese on a half of a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have 2 of those. So that's breakfast for 5 days made on Thursday nights.
Yep.
And then for lunch, I'll get some chicken from some seasoned chicken from Whole Foods, about $7, and I'll cook that in the oven. And again, with the wrap, it's only 4 of them. I have them for for lunch. So I got lunch and breakfast there. So meal prepping is fucking easy as fuck.
Yeah, you can meal prep. You can choose not to meal prep. It depends on what your personal preference is. Because if you like cooking, then chances are you won't want to meal prep. Because that's one of the things that I never got the point of when it comes to meal prepping. Because it's like, yeah, I can cook for a day, and I enjoy cooking for that day. But then every other day I'm just reheating. That's not enjoyable.
Well,
whereas
half of me is I'm lazy as fuck.
Yeah, if you're lazy and you don't enjoy cooking, then meal prep makes sense. And there's a lot of really good meals that you can meal prep.
Well, not only that, but you can meal prep because you might enjoy the meal and want to take it for lunch the next day.
Yep. Well, that I just do as leftovers, and I'll plan out making enough to have leftovers of them.
I've had the unfortunate habit of recently cooking too much pasta because I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna cook this much for myself, but it ends up being like, oh shit, now I got like fucking days of pasta.
Yep. And you don't want to have
Random.
pasta sitting around for too long.
Yeah, that's no good.
Having it sit around for like a day and eating it at lunch, that's perfectly fine. But if you're having pasta sit around for 2-3 days, you're going into danger zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, if you are short on time, if you are lazy, if you don't like cooking, meal prep. If you have time every day and you enjoy cooking, cook every day. It works either way.
Cook
But
food every
You can
day.
make good meals every day for not very much. And it's infuriating that people will act like, oh, it's impossible to make a good meal. And I'm going, I lived off $42 a week for like a month. I lived off Snap as if it was, and it wasn't actually Snap, it was just simulated Snap. Let me stress that. I didn't get government benefits. I just went, Snap gives you $6 a day, so that's going to be $42 a week. It gives you $6 a day per head when I looked at it. So, did $42 a week. Simulated it, it was all my money. And I still had really good meals. I wasn't feeling like I was starving myself or like I was wanting. It was, this is a really good meal. I enjoyed this. I'll make this again. So there's ways of doing it. There's ways of doing it cheaply. There's ways of doing it reliably. But again, it's one of those things that I'm okay helping people that legitimately need help. I don't want them to become dependent upon that help.
No, Sanguine, okay. I don't mind helping, like you said, don't mind helping people that need help. Problem is, I don't want to help motherfuckers who are abusing the system. I don't want to help bitches that all she do is sit up there and have fucking kids. I don't want to. I don't want to help generational welfare queens who sit on their porcelain throne and bitch at me because I don't give them enough money. When motherfucker ho, you ain't doing shit but pop out motherfucking kids.
Oh,
I don't want to help
me
those
of the
kids.
other thing that hit the news recently that people have been flipping shit about. Did you hear about Trump's new tax policy when it comes to child support?
Shit.
What?
So Trump is pushing for a change in tax law that if you are paying child support, you get to claim the child on your taxes rather than the recipient of the child support getting to claim them on theirs.
Nice.
I like that. I know me and Sanguine are saying the same thing. I get it. I like that. Do y'all remember ages ago, many moons ago? It was this woman. She had like 8 fucking kids, and she talking about how in the hell I'm supposed to take care of all these kids. Y'all need to help me. No, bitch. What we need to get you to do is get you close your motherfucking legs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, I just saw a recent video of people who collect other news videos and all that, but a lady who has 9 children and she has twins on the way, and she just got hit with the EBT decrease, and she's like, how am I supposed to afford to be able to feed these kids? And it's like, and she's making like pancakes and shit, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, you realize that you need to stop having children.
You need to close. If you can't
is
practice
wrong
safe
with you?
sex, then you can't have sex. Or how about this? Get the motherfuckers that made these little motherfuckers to take care of their motherfucking kids.
Yeah, where the fuck is that? Like it's
Well, the
one of
thing
those-
is that we've incentivized single parents.
No,
I don't think that we should punish single parents. That's going too far. I don't think that we should incentivize single parents, though.
Whoa,
because
hold on.
there-
First off, we haven't done it. The people
As a
before
country,
us
we
did.
have.
No, the people before us did it. I don't think
And we
any
have
of us
continued it.
I don't think any of us had voted anybody into office who pushed these agendas. Have you? I haven't.
I'm trying to think when the last major changes were. I know that it was Clinton, which was before my time, was one
Exactly.
of the major pushes. But the
And
people
if
that
you
we've
haven't,
elected,
then I damn know Arteria hasn't because he's a babyface.
but the people that we've elected have failed to change these policies.
No, they don't want to change the policies because
It-
it's a
it
benefit for them.
Is what I'm
It
saying.
is. It is when you jangle, free shit in front of people, the masses were like, "Oh shit, I want free shit." I vote for you because you're giving me free shit. And that's essentially what welfare has become. It started off as all right. Sometimes you need a little assistance, and maybe we should help you. As a society. However, it became, oh well, why the fuck do I gotta work when I don't feel like working?
It went
You got
from being a
motherfuckers.
safety net to being a mattress.
Yeah, it went from people debating like I really don't want to do this, but I need it right now, and I'll use it until I don't need it. To again, generational fucking welfare queens. You got bitches on TikTok currently singing about how why should I fucking go to work when the government pays for everything. They have used the system and they feel entitled to it instead of ashamed to be on it.
Yep. Like I said, what I want there to be systems in place. And like I said, not necessarily government systems.
Mhm.
I include non-government systems in this statement, and I would prefer non-government systems to government systems. But I want things in place to help people when they fall on hard times. Because there's going to be times that you fall on hard times. Doesn't matter what the fuck happens. You lose your job at the wrong time through no fault of your own, just because the business that you're working for is downsizing.
Yes.
I want there to be something that helps you.
Yes.
But I don't want it to be that you haven't worked in the past 15 years, or you've only worked so long as you needed to in order to qualify for benefits again.
Do you remember? Have you ever seen the HBO TV show John Adams?
I don't believe I did.
All right, so there is good series. Yes, it's Paul Giamatti as John F. But there's a scene where he's in France talking with Benjamin Franklin about getting the French involved in the war, and he goes to him. They're going to hold my head above water to keep me from drowning, but they're not going to help me out the fucking water. Yep. And that's what it is. This again, it was originally supposed to be a helping hand out of the water, but now it's a system where we're holding your head just above drowning.
Yep.
But they still need you to kick to keep the system going.
Yeah, but they still need people. They still need people at the bottom kicking.
And the other thing is, I would add to that is the capitulation of the populace to sit there and say, but it's okay if they're holding your head above water. Just keep kicking. The system is fine.
And
that's the problem.
I would actually argue that it isn't that they need people that are still kicking. What they need is they need the people that they're forcing to hold them above water. That's what's happening. It isn't
they're using someone else's hand.
Yeah, it's not that they're using their own hand. They're using someone else's hand. They're forcing everyone else. Well, most of us aren't kicking because most of us aren't really in the fucking water. The people that are in the water are, by and large, the ones that heads are being kept above the water. And then everyone outside of the water is forced to keep those bastards from going under. That's what the vast
while they're
majority
still getting fatter and fatter, and they still getting bitchier, and more entitled. Oh, I deserve, it went from, dear God, please don't let me have to take this helping hand. Don't let my pride be injured where I have to take this.
What? Hold on, no. The people who are
I'm talking about when it began.
Are not the people who are kicking to keep their heads above water. The people who are skimming off of welfare are not even part of this system. They're part of the arm that is holding the head above water.
No, they aren't the ones.
The taxpayer are the ones who are fucking.
They aren't the ones holding
above.
They are not. The people that are scamming the system are not holding the heads above the water.
Yeah, they are.
They're the ones tossing people in.
Dude, they're the ones pushing people in, and they're the ones sucking on the fingers that are holding people above the water.
The whole point about kicking up to keep the head above the water is they're working for nothing. These people are not working for shit. The people who are paying taxes and are not able to benefit. Dude, I can't benefit off of SNAP. I would love to benefit off of SNAP and be able to not get Pop-Tarts and that. No, to be able to get basic food? Fuck yeah. Okay,
hold on. Adam, my pride, I ain't got much in this world, but at least I can hold my head and have my pride. If I need to get some help, unless I really need that help, I'd rather not ask for that help unless I really, really, really need it.
Awesome, sir. The point is, we're already paying into the service. So if I do need help and to get extra groceries, I have no problem paying in. I would love that, but I apparently earn too much to earn this. So while I'm still paying into it, I can't benefit from it. I'm not kicking I'm kicking to keep my head above water. Whereas the person is sitting there with the person that I was describing is benefiting from it. They're not kicking. They're not treading water. They're benefiting from it and sitting on a fucking flotation device.
The way that I would phrase that is you're the person that's being forced to hold the person, to keep the person above the water. Because you are the one who's doing the actual work to keep the person above the water. That is
You're swimming with them on your back.
Yeah. It isn't that you're right next to them. No. You are being forced to drag them behind you. Yeah, they're the dead weight trying to sink you.
And again, like I said, I don't see it as like, oh man, you're to the people who actually need it. Because again, I've been there. When I was living in Washington, there was a point where I couldn't find work for a while, and I depended on this stuff. But thankfully, in Washington, there was a lot more local farmers and stuff that we could get.
Like I said, what I want, my ideal system would be one that is there to help people that absolutely need it.
Agree.
It has things in place to incentivize people to get to the point where they don't need it. So I've talked about this before when it comes to unemployment, that my ideal unemployment system would be a stepping down unemployment system where it gets you enough into employment that by the time that it fades away, you don't want to go back to just relying on it.
Yeah, you don't want to have to whip out that card and use it. Nobody's saying that, but at the same end,
the thing is, a lot of people saying.
Well, no. There are. We can acknowledge that there are a lot of people who don't care about whipping the card out and they use it brazenly. But again, you can't lump those people alongside the people that actually need it and use it.
Which is why I'm saying I want to have a system that differentiates.
Well, yeah, and that's what they're doing now. And that's part of it where it's like you're not able to get Cheerio or fucking sugar snacks and soda. Yeah, most recently. You're not able to get sodas and sugar snacks with EBT because that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
At most, you're supposed to be doing fucking just basic eggs, fucking
Which is
grain.
why
Again,
I'm
like I
saying-
said, like I was saying earlier, beans, rice, and flour. That's all you're supposed to just get the basic fucking things.
Which is why I'm saying that, yes, I like the newest changes. For the longest time, we haven't had that. For the longest time, we've incentivized people to stay on the systems. And that incentivization for helplessness, incentivized helplessness, fucks over everyone. Because everyone that isn't helpless is now getting burdened by the people that are incentivized to be helpless. I don't consider the people that need the hand up to be a burden. I consider the people that I have to drag behind me to be a burden. And there's a major difference between those groups.
Look, again,
we are pretty much all agreeing, Rotten.
I just want the fucks that are abusing the system to not abuse the system. I want the bitches that are, sitting there popping out motherfucking kids, laying up with niggas that ain't doing. Sorry, my bad. I fucking forgot. Laying up with gentlemen of less repute. And popping out.
We need to get you trained up so that when you do slip up, you immediately say, "I'm black." Sorry,
I'm black. Sorry, I'm black. But gentlemen of less repute, and making kids that are going to eventually perpetuate the cycle, whether they're females who are going to pop out kids because their daddy was of less repute, or male kids that are going to become gentlemen of less repute and fucking make a shit ton of babies with women who are just as equal, and we need to get those fucks off of it. We need to make those men who aren't doing shit for their families, those kids that they're fucking popping out, take care of. And we also need to make motherfucking women who honestly need to be in the workforce go back to the fucking workforce.
Back to the fucking dude. Well, hold on. Speaking of men and women in terms of relationships,
oh Lord,
it was popping up on my timeline a lot. But have any of you seen the this like blind dating contest thing where the lady goes up and she's like, "I'm gonna get my scuba training gear. I like to go skiing. I'm gonna go to Australia, and I'm looking for somebody who's gonna be my travel buddy." And then on the other side, there's a whole bunch of guys that were sitting on it. And, I was like, "All right, so guys, who would like to approach this lady and talk to her?" And nobody stood up.
Are you talking the Jubilee dating episodes?
I don't know if it was Jubilee. I think they were Mormon.
No.
Yeah.
I know that there's a number of them, but Jubilee's one of the ones that did shit like that.
Yeah.
Of course, nobody's gonna fucking approach her. She's a materialistic bitch.
Where they would have these. It's a white screen where they would raise up every few questions so that you'd see more and more of the person. So when you first started, you just see their shoes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe because there was a screen between them, but the whole clip that was being shown, they didn't show the screen between them, so I guess that was the gotcha moment. But originally, when the thing first came out, it sparked a number of conversations, and a lot of them were, like, "Oh, why aren't these guys going after her? She seems like an adventurous lady and all this." And the other side was like, "Yeah, but she sounds expensive." And I don't know. I think
I think we've given women online dating and shit like that has made women overly
well, this is like game show
inflated. No, I'm just saying in general. Like they have overly inflated opinions of themselves. When you essentially believe you're a 10, but you're a Midwest 2.
It has been damaging for both sides.
Yes.
I don't like it has made women, it has made men. because that is too generalizing for me. And it has made a group of women that they once fucked a 9 or a 10. So now they think that their new floor is a 9 or a 10. That is an issue. That happens.
Yes.
That isn't all women, but it happens enough that it's an issue. And
where they're overly inflated values.
That it's an issue. What it causes is there's this vicious feedback loop where something goes fucked up for women, so it goes fucked up for men. And then because it's fucked up for men, it gets more fucked up for women. And then because it's more fucked up for women, it gets more fucked up for men. And it just keeps on feeding back into each other, making it an absolute hellhole.
And eternally, it's a Ouroboros of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a positive feedback loop of fuckery, where because there are women that have gone ridiculously off the deep end, and now they think that their base is a 9 or a 10 because once they had a one-night stand with a 9 or a 10. And now they treat anyone that is beneath a 9 or a 10 like they're shit. It causes men to feel a bit more spiteful, which then causes some women to feel a bit more fearful because those men seem kind of spiteful, which then makes men feel more. And it's just this, like I said, positive feedback loop where each negative ends up feeding back into the loop and causing more negatives to spin out.
Yes.
And it's aggravating as shit because there are still good women. There are still good men. The thing is that a lot of the things that people want to look towards when it comes to this aren't necessarily the best things. Because, yeah, you aren't going to get a good, long-lasting relationship out of Tinder 9 times out of 10. And probably more than 9 times out of 10. Probably 99 times out of 100. You aren't going to get a good, long-lasting relationship out of Tinder. But there are still ways to meet people. There are still ways to end up being happy. It's just people need to have the right picture of how shit works and how things should work for them, what actually matters. A lot of people confuse wants with needs. And
yes,
this is both men and women will confuse wants with needs.
You want something, you don't need it. It is. I get it. You want to date someone with 6 figures, 6 feet tall. You know, drives a sports car. You want to. You don't need that shit.
Yeah, there's a difference between wants and needs, and the confusion between those is constant. You might want someone who is a 9 out of 10. But you don't need someone that's a 9 out of 10. You could be perfectly happy with someone who's a 7 or 6 out of 10. Perhaps a 5 or a 4, depending on the person. But everyone, if you're talking about what you ideally want, everyone's going to go, I want someone who is absolutely amazing. And not many people are absolutely amazing. That's kind of a definitional thing of amazing.
I want somebody I can talk to who has a good head on their shoulders and honestly, understand that it's a partnership. We're working together to build something.
I want someone that can make me better while I make them better.
Yes. I want someone that's going to pick, who sees the best in me, even though I don't see that in myself.
Yep. But a lot of people confuse wants and needs. So what they end up doing is they have this idea that if someone isn't a 9 out of 10, then they can't date them. But no, you can date someone that's not a 9 out of 10, and you could be very happy with someone that's a 9 out of 10. You want someone that's a 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
You want someone that has these specific interests. You don't need them to have those interests. It would be nice if they had those interests,
Yes.
but you don't need someone with those interests. There are going to be things, though, that people need. If you are a bit emotionally insecure, you're going to need someone who is secure and lets you know that it's going to be okay,
Yes.
that they care. If you can't read facial expressions, you're going to need someone who's able to communicate.
Or who's direct and tells you what, you know.
Yep.
So wait, so not like the Grok,
You know, who doesn't keep you guessing, you know.
no AI waifu.
No AI waffle, no.
Yeah, let's not go for the AI waifus.
Again, yeah. Look. Oh, I was up early today. I was up way fucking early waiting for these damn contractors to come.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's people aren't completely hopeless. We aren't at a point where we should be going, oh, society's doomed because people can't find relationships. No, there's complications that shouldn't be there when it comes to relationships.
Agreed.
There's bullshit that's there that shouldn't be there when it comes to relationships.
Agreed.
But people can still find relationships. They can still find people that love and care about them. And it's important to keep that in mind because far too many people want to act like we're doomed. There's no hope. And that's bullshit.
I mean, I think we need a great rebalancing of things. You know, retipping of the scales, incentivizing financial taxing of incentivizing people having kids. That's a good way to do it.
I think one of the things that we need to do is because one societal thing that really started to affect shit was when the Me Too shit kicked off.
Yeah.
People went way too far with it. And it became that if you tried to talk to a woman that was at the grocery store, or at your gym, or someplace that...
It became a Me Too incident.
It became a Me Too incident where you were creepy. And that's going to ruin your life. Which meant that a lot of guys went, well, if I can't talk to women, if I can't be the one to approach them, I'm not going to approach them. It's too dangerous. So
First off, we need to stop the court of public. We really need to stop the court of public opinions. At least until you can't try shit in the court of public opinions. You can't drop down an accusation without actual fucking proof. If you say Sanguine did this to me, well, did you go to the fucking police? No. Well, police reports that it didn't fucking happen.
Yep. And what we need to do is we either need to have
using that example, my friend, not saying you would do anything.
There's a change where it becomes clear that you're able to approach people without it being considered creepy, without it being a problem, or women need to be the ones that start approaching them. Because if they wanted to make it so that men can't approach them, then they have to approach.
quality is you can't be playing the bullshit mind games either. Like that shit. Oh well, I wanted you to chase me. No, bitch. Like you need to say what you want, and we. Oh, I just wanted you to. I said no like 8 times. On that nighttime, I would just test it and see if you would do it 9 times.
And just like there's issues where there are women that will friend zone men or use men as emotional tampons, there's also issues where men will make women into this weird, if I'm nice to them, then they'll fuck me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
a comrade.
Well, not
she's the best.
They want them to be that, but they don't actually get them to a point where they're willing to be that. They just have this weird, I'm going to treat you nice so that eventually you will fuck me. And it's not actually being nice because it's with this ulterior motive.
Well, see, that's another
the
problem.
Other side of friend zone, where it's not a.
It's the eternal hunter.
Yeah.
But see, that's a problem on both sides with the eternal hunter, who eventually like, you know what, fuck it, and now she's pissed because you stopped being nice to her. Yeah, I stopped hunting you.
Yep. Or
what?
Like I said, there's the friend zone portion, which is when a girl knows that a guy is interested in her and decides that rather than shooting him down and going, look, we're never going to end up dating. We're never going to get together. If that's what you're looking for in this, it is not going to happen. So just give up on that. But instead, they'll use them as an emotional tampon. And then you have the men that even when someone tells them, look, I'm never going to sleep with you. I'm never going to want to be together with you. Will still go, well, I want to be with you, though. So if I'm nice, and then they'll get pissed off at a certain point, and they'll flip out because, well, I tried for so long, but you didn't want a nice guy. Fuck you. That isn't. You weren't a nice guy.
The simp. Oh yeah. God, the simp.
The sneaky fucker.
I think I hate this. All right, I hate the simp more than I hate any other. I hate the simp far more than I hate the pickup artist, on the grounds that the simp will bend over fucking backwards with no self-respect, and then when he doesn't get what he wants, he becomes this raging nightmare of, well, I used to be nice, but now you don't want, dude.
Yeah, he'll become an absolute monster. And both of those are problems. And one of them is a problem for guys, one of those is a problem for girls. And they're kind of mirror images of each other. Where both of them are trying to force a relationship onto the other person.
Yes.
That the other person isn't interested in. So there's problems on both sides. There's shit that clearly needs to be resolved. But acting like, well, it's all because of dating apps. No, it's just dating apps made it more obvious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dating apps and fucking internet in general caused the evolution of the simp. And yeah. So at the very least, you had to at least know the girl in person. You know, she had to be somewhere local to
it did
for you to act a fool.
The internet did to that what it did to the village idiot. So it used to be that there was a village idiot.
Now there's a billion village
that
idiots
village
together.
idiot was easy to deal with because it was a village idiot in the village. And he was the only one there. But then with the internet, it became that all the village idiots were suddenly able to talk to each other.
And band together.
And they were able to organize. And that created issues for fucking everyone else. Because it was no longer just dealing with a village idiot.
Shit, you weren't even dealing with your local village idiot. You were dealing with someone else's village idiot.
Yeah. It was now you were dealing with an army of village idiots. And they had enough people that even the people that weren't originally village idiots, but weren't really intelligent, they were able to be coerced into joining the army of village idiots.
Oh, God.
And you get that with a lot of the dating shit as well, where, again, it's not something that is unique to the internet. It's just the internet made it something
popular.
that you could see more. It made a somewhat invisible problem into a glaring problem.
Mm-hmm. But again, I dislike that. I could be dealing with my local village idiot, or I could be dealing with your local village idiot. But they're still village fucking idiots.
Yep.
And no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what proof you bring, they are so stupid or so self-absorbed and absorbed into their ideology or whatever the fuck, free bond, whatever the fuck they have this month, that they can't see fact from fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how much you beat them over the head with fucking evidence, nope, doesn't exist.
Well, the problem is that you can't really reason someone out of an idea that they didn't reason themselves into.
See, this is why whenever I have a debate or a talk with somebody about politics, especially because of my Trump supporting leanings, I start with a question: is there anything I could say or anything I can prove that would make you reconsider your position on, like, say, Trump? Nope. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have this conversation. Why? Because there's no fucking win condition for me.
Yep.
Like, I can't win this. Like, if we're talking, like, there's no win condition. I can beat you over the head with a trillion facts, and you will just nope. It'll end with me being pissed off because you refuse to see logic.
Yep.
There's no win condition. I can't have this argument.
Yeah, what do you do at that point?
Yeah, it becomes the only way that you can deal with someone like that, the only way that you can convince them out of their ideology is the Daryl Davis.
Yep. Love them in the right direction.
Yep. So
but even then,
for those who don't remember who Daryl Davis is a blues musician, if I remember correctly. R&B and blues, right?
I do believe it was blues, jazz and blues, but yes, I do believe.
And he's a black musician that did a lot of tours in the Deep South and ended up getting over 200 KKK members to abandon the KKK.
Just by talking to them.
Yep, just by talking to them. By being nice. He didn't agree with them. He didn't say that they were doing the right thing. He just treated them as people. And when they were being a bit of a dickhead, he said, hey, you're being a bit of a dickhead. Can we drop this and move on to a different topic? But otherwise, he was nice. And this is something that you see constantly. You'll see this with pretty much every deconversion from legitimate neo-Nazis and various other hate groups. It'll be that they meet someone that
But see,
is
the
just
problem-
really fucking nice to them.
But see, the problem with that Sanguine is most of that. I believe most of that is just that they weren't true believers. Like you can't change the mind of a fanatic. No matter what you say, a fanatic is his logic is based on faith and faith alone.
And I
No
would
matter
argue slightly because I would say that you can't guarantee that you're going to meet the person at the right time, but a lot of those people that were deconversions and a lot of the verifiable deconversions, it's not someone who was just passingly part of it or someone who wasn't really there. They were just
no, that's not
in
what I
the
mean,
group
Sanguine.
shot, but it's people that were passionately about whatever they were about. I can't remember the name of the guy. It was a guy who was the founder of a neo-Nazi group, which it's hard to get more gun-ho than founding the fucking group. And he ended up having a lot of shit happen to him.
But see,
And
that's the issue, Sanguine. You found him at the right time. However,
that's the thing. That you have to find them at the right time and then do the Daryl Davis.
but also when you have a fanatic isn't always going to be, even when they have the question of faith. Then again, depending on the fanatic, they won't ever have the question of faith. There will never be a right time to meet them because their faith is enough for them. Even when they're going through hell, it's always all right.
If your
Wait
point
a minute, hold on. Wait,
not
hold
that
on.
everyone can be deconverted. I will agree
Yes.
with that point. If your
Yes.
point is that there's a certain type of person that you'd be able to tell off the bat, then I would disagree with that.
I would disagree with that too. Again, but if you have someone that's not already questioning their beliefs, like you can't drive the wedge where there's no cracks. But if there's a crack already there and you drive a wedge in, you can split the rock. Like, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, I get that, but my point is that you can't always tell where there's a crack.
Well, true, you can't always tell where there's a crack, but sometimes
That's where
you can
you end
find
up
the
with,
crack.
like I was about to say, there's the one famous case where a guy was a founder of a neo-Nazi group and he wrote a book about how he got out of the ideology.
Mm-hmm.
And he was getting a lot of shit happening to him. And people were attacking him, and it just made him more gung-ho about his ideology. People were going after him, trying to make him lose his job, and it just made him more gung-ho. But then he just had a family member die randomly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a family member that he was close with. And there was a Jewish person in his class that knew who he was, knew what he was about, but noticed that he was kind of having a hard time and asked him about it. Found out that he just had his family member die and it was nearing a holiday, and he went, "Hey, I know you hate me. I know you hate my group. No one should be alone on the holidays. Do you want to come to dinner?"
But see, there was a crack.
And like I said, it was something that it wasn't really an obvious thing to most people. It was just he was sad. And that's what I was getting at. That it's not always something that you would be able to determine as it's going to be a crack. Like a lot of the people that Daryl Davis deconverted.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an obvious crack. It was just he played music. They really liked his music. And that was enough of a foot in the door.
Yeah.
So there's
Again, you're not gonna get a true believer who will burn down, who will light themselves ablaze. Those motherfuckers will never convert.
I would say that at the very least it is very unlikely, and it would have to be perfect timing.
Yes. You need to get to them before they realign to their faith.
Yep.
Because if you don't, you need to strike while the iron is hot.
I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Tyr. I think there are just evil monsters out there that will not convert or change because they're evil monsters.
I do think
Yes.
that there are evil monsters. I've said it before that you have a certain chunk of the population that are obligate saints. You have a certain chunk of the population that are obligate demons. And then you have everyone else. And everyone else is some strange mix of saint and demon. And the best society is one that encourages the greatest number of people towards the greatest percentage of saint.
Look, I recognize that at some point, for all the good that men do, someone's gonna have to do evil.
Yep.
In order for us to understand what a sunshine is and what it means, we need rain.
Yep.
God damn it! Why am I talking in metaphors today?
Did you watch Bill and Ted recently?
No, I'm talking in meta. All right, so you know on Twitter
sings a sad song.
Oh Lord. It's just that I've just realized that I talk in metaphors like I'm some sort of fucking, ancient guru.
But yeah, there's different mixtures in most people. There are going to be obligate saints. There are going to be obligate sinners. The damnable thing is that it's almost impossible to tell if someone is an obligate saint or an obligate sinner versus if they're one of the rest of us.
Shit, but you can tell someone's a fucking demon.
Well, yeah,
Sometimes.
I was gonna say I think the more difficult thing is when you recognize a demon and point it out, and people around are like, I don't think that's a demon. Perhaps that's not a. I don't know. Maybe in my opinion, that might be a demon light, or just trying to.
He's demon adjacent.
He's demon adjacent. It's not. Perhaps it only has 3 horns. It's not 2. I thought a demon would be. Let me explain away why I think that's not. Dude, I'm pointing as a demon. That guy's saying, "I'm a demon." I don't think he's saying he's a demon, but I don't.
He just ate a baby. He just ate the baby.
So,
but is it a real baby or is it a fake baby? I don't know if that's a real
sometimes
baby.
there are Ed Geins. Ed Gein being the serial killer that skinned his dead mother and wore her as a suit.
No, I just don't like the people who try and obfuscate things.
Yes.
But there's a hell of a lot more of them are going to be the Ted Bundys and the Dahmers that are charming as shit while being fucked up.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying, that you can't always tell an obligate demon or an obligate saint, because a lot lot of the obligate demons are
like
really good.
There's a lot of times you can
like
tell.
obligate saints. There are
Yeah.
some times that you can tell. A
No,
lot of the
there's-
time you can't.
There's a lot of times you can tell. There's a lot of
Yeah,
times
but
you can
see-
tell with a lot of people.
Yeah, but
I-
see, the
that's
problem
just
is,
and that's just my viewpoint, Sanguine. You're
I
never
agree.
going to change that.
I agree with Adam, because again, if you have someone who's openly, just violent and vicious, and like no matter what you do, anyone does, he's still violent and vicious. Yeah, he's a fucking demon.
Hey, recently in Australia, there was a couple found. The woman had her neck slashed, and she was defiled, and the husband's head was on a pike, and they caught the guy. Yeah, I think that's a demon. I don't
I think that's a demon too.
I don't think I have to sit there and be like, maybe he was doing something bad. No.
Again, though, what I'm saying is not that their actions are easily hidden, because the examples that I used for obligate demons that were good at hiding it, Dahmer and fucking Bundy, neither one of those is someone that you look at their murders and go, nah, I don't know. I think that they might be good. No, when you look at their murders, you go, yeah, they're clearly fucked up. The thing is that when you're talking to them, unless you have their victim right in front of you, unless you have the body right in front of you, or know that this is the person that produced those bodies, you're going, well, he was a kind of a nice dude to talk to.
Again, like I said, like some demons are good at hiding who they are. Like
Which
I won't deny that.
And I'm saying that probably the majority of demons are good at hiding who they are.
50-50.
Their actions, obvious. A good example, there's of one that is fairly obvious in action and also in just appearance. You guys have seen the one dude that was released after, what was it, raping someone? Looks like coked up Gollum.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Clearly a demon.
Yeah. So you have people like that. But then you have a lot of them where you wouldn't be able to tell unless you see the shit that they've done.
I got the perfect example to complement what you said. Not too long ago, many years ago, the Innocent Project released a black man who claimed to have been arrested for beating up a guy and robbing and taking what he was owed. However,
the one that dismembered torso in the suitcase.
Torso suitcase, getting back in this different clothes and try to clean shit up. Yes, him. Yep. Clearly a demon in the guise of a saint. I was in wrong place at wrong time, and shit happened. There was a tale of I watch a lot of courtroom antics, courtroom top 10 worst courtroom outbursts. Woman dismembers beheads her boyfriend, kills him, beheads him, and fucks him.
Yep.
Cuts off his dick and takes it with her. Clearly a demon. Granted, she looks very, very beautiful, very pretty. Clearly demonic.
Yep.
Kid rapes and kills teacher. Stuffs her in a trash can, tosses her in the woods. Takes her credit card, goes to a movie, popcorn with her credit card. Clearly, kid's a fucking demon.
Yep.
Looks like a regular average kid.
Yep.
So again, there are those demons that can take the guise of saints,
But
there are those demons
of a classic serial killer that was able to trick people for years. BTK.
We were just watching a movie, The Frozen Ground. I can't remember the name of the killer, but that was based off of an actual murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Really good movie, honestly.
But yeah, BTK.
Robert Hansen.
BTK is a good example, or the one that drives me crazy that people don't realize what the fuck's going on with him is Kemper. Kemper's one of the ones that is scary good at how much he can hide.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know who Kemper was?
No, I don't particularly know who Kemper was.
Kemper, serial killer, absolutely enormous motherfucker. He's like 6'8", 6'10", something ridiculous like that.
Mm-hmm.
He murdered his grandparents,
Oh.
went to prison, got transferred from prison. This is when he's like 15, by the way. Gets transferred from prison to a psychiatric ward. The psychiatric ward releases him in like 2-3 years because they believe that he's completely repented and that he
Edmund Kemper?
Yep. He then becomes a serial killer. Kills a shit ton of women. He gets finally caught. Everyone is talking about how nice he is after he's caught.
But
Sent to prison. I believe he was sentenced to life without parole.
nope. Criminal penalty, life imprisonment with possibility of parole. But he's like
life
76.
with the possibility of parole. That's worse because he gets sentenced to prison, ends up in a section of the prison that pretty much just houses serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of the serial killer that he was with, but there is another serial killer that ends up as his cellie.
Mm-hmm.
That he straight up trains a serial killer with peanut M&Ms.
Mm.
Because the other serial killer was making noises at night. So he Pavlovian trains a fucking serial killer. Everyone that talks to him, all of the shrinks at the prison, talk about how nice he is, how he seems like he's really reformed. It is in his records, time and time again, do not trust this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
He is ridiculously good at manipulating people. He will manipulate you. He will make you think that he is good to go. The same doctor that wrote that in his record has come out and said, I think that he's reformed.
God damn.
The dude is an absolute nightmare. He's an absolute demon. When you look at all the shit that he did, it was fucked up.
10, wait a minute, I'm reading from the Wikipedia page.
Yep.
Age 10, buried the family cat alive, then dug the body up, decapitated, and mounted its head on a spike. 13, he killed another family cat, which he thought favored his younger sister over him, kept pieces of his body in the closet. 14, ran away from home to his father, and nope, that's not crime. But Jesus fucking Christ, like that shit's fucking scary.
Well, like I said, skip ahead to where he murders his grandparents.
Oh Lord Jesus, Phoebus on the skeebus.
Because his two first murders were his grandparents.
15, Kemper kills grandmother Maud Matilda Hughley Kemper, Nee Hughley Kemper, with a rifle after argument, shooting her once in the head and twice in the back, and then stabbing her several times. When Kemper's grandfather, Edmund Emil Kemper Sr., came home, Kemper fatally shot him in the driveway. Kemper phoned his mother, told him to call the police, did so and waited for the police to arrive. Jesus.
Yeah. Absolute unrepentant demon. Keeps on getting every psych that talks to him to say, I think he's reformed.
Again, like you said,
including again the shrink that in his notes on him said, "Do not trust this man. He is ridiculously good at manipulating fucking everyone. He will manipulate you. He will make you think that he's reformed. Do not trust him. He is a danger." Has since come out and said, I think he's reformed.
Mm.
That is absolutely insane to me. That you can have a psychologist completely lay out what you are that clearly and still be able to manipulate them.
Mm-hmm. That's fucking insane, man. That's fucking scary and it's fucking insane.
Yeah. So, like I said, there are demons that you will be able to see because, again, Ed Gein. No one really surprised.
The guy from the Somalian half golem, half whatever the fuck he is.
Coked up golem, not really a surprise. There's a Somalian in Minnesota that raped a 11-year-old, 12-year-old?
No, I think that's the same guy. Coked up golem.
I don't think that's coked up golem.
Well, he tried to kidnap a kid.
Colorado.
He tried to kidnap a kid.
But there's the one in Minnesota that was an Uber driver.
Ugh.
Was driving around, saw like a 12, 13, 14-year-old girl in her yard while he was just driving around waiting for a fare. He asked if her mother was home. She said no. So he knocked her over the head, dragged her into his car, drove her miles away, violated her, then just dropped her somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He was arrested and then released the same day. He then started to send weird notes and messages to the girl and her family. The girl's family realized that the girl was getting weird messages. Mm-hmm. So they, please take a seat with him, holding him there until the cops were able to arrive. The cops arrested him again. The Somali community in the area wrote a letter to the judge that is going to be hearing his case, asking for him to be released because they can't believe that he did anything wrong. He's of good moral character. They don't deny at any point that he did any of this to the girl. But it's more them going, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Why is this an issue?
Mm-hmm.
It was just one girl, and he's a family man. Release him.
Look, again, you have the useful idiots. Like, again, you have the judge who released him, who essentially is what Adam was saying. Oh, well, he only has one horn, not two, so you can't really call him a demon, you know. People like that. They're far worse than the demons themselves.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the...
While you're looking that up, Sanguine, I'm going to get a drink of water.
Copy that. So it was a 12-year-old girl. And I do have the letter. Do you guys want to hear the letter that the Islamic Center wrote to the courts?
Yeah.
Sure, but you might want to wait till Tier gets back.
He's saying, yeah, I think he has his headset on and he's just yelling because he's away from his mic.
Oh.
So it's the local Islamic Center. We, the undersigned members of the Somali community, write this letter to express our strong and heartfelt support for the man who committed the heinous crime a member of our community. Actually, if I can read the name clearly enough, I think it's Deary. Yeah, D-R-I. Or sorry, Dirie. Deary, something like that. A member of our community. Many of us first met Durai through our shared journey as Somali refugees arriving in this country with little more than hope and the determination to build or rebuild our lives. Like so many of us, Durai has faced the challenge of starting over in a new culture, learning English, adjusting to the fast paced system, and raising children in an environment far different from the one we grew up in. Before this situation, Durai was known as a devoted family man and as an outgoing person who would talk to anyone he came across in the community. Whether taking his children to school or a park, we witnessed his love for his family and family and kids. Many of us also know how close he is to his grandmother. He is her support line. Many of us have been to his home, worked with him, or met him in different community activities. Each time, Durai was a kind and outgoing human being. He has also been an active volunteer in our mosque. Sorry, this is a poor photocopy, so it's a little bit blurry.
Okay.
Gives the name of the Islamic Center, where he regularly visited during Friday prayers, Ramadan, and community events. You'll often find him helping elders find rides home or staying after to help clean up. His service was never about recognition, just a quiet commitment to supporting the spaces that hold our community together. Let me see if I can get the last bit of this because, of course, the way that this wants to show up, despite the financial pressures of life in the U.S., Durai also still managed to support needy family members back in Somalia, whether it is helping with medical expenses or some word that's covered during times of drought. His sense of responsibility has extended far beyond his needs. So yeah, that's the letter that they wrote to a man that assaulted, battered, knocked out, kidnapped, then raped a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, no,
And then
you
after
need to
rape,
go to jail.
also kept on harassing her and trying to lure her to various areas so he could assault her again.
You need to be under jails. I'm not. I don't want to be that guy, but I have no choice. Some cultures are incompatible,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't force the values we have are in our culture is essentially do what you will. You know, as long as you're working toward the greater good, do you're not trying to dick anyone over. Go ahead, do you. Muslims tend to, yeah, the religion is the good part. Our religious doctrine should be the law of the land. Fuck
And
everybody else's.
bad news in that case, he is expected to serve just 8 years.
I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. Because again, you got these advocate judges who essentially who have sold out their everything for the belief. Oh well, he he can't do no wrong. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that rape is wrong.
Yeah, that was effectively what it came across as. That they were saying he is having a hard time adjusting to the U.S., where you can't knock out a 12-year-old, drag her into your car, and then go rape her.
Back in his home country, he could do that, and that was cool. That was just like a normal pastime. Everyone, did a little raping.
It was just a Friday night.
Yeah, you go outside, go with your friends, you get a few beers, you go rape a little girl. Just something new, like everybody does in Somalia. Again, I'm tired of importing the third world. I want them to be zoned off and cordoned off in their own little hovel, away from the rest of the nation. So when we reach the stars and they're still in their fucking mud huts, yeah. Like if you wanted to be part of civilization, you'd fucking assimilate it.
Yeah, I'm of the mind that Teddy Roosevelt was right, and it is to the U.S.'s shame that somehow we didn't determine that Teddy Roosevelt won the argument over the hyphenated American.
Yep. Yes, he did. He was right, and he won. Like I said, he won the argument, and now we got everyone else's interest being put before the nation's.
Yep.
If you want to put the interests of your homeland above, the land that you currently live on, why don't you just go back there?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you here?
Because they want it both ways, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Again, they want to live in the first world, but represent the third. And
how dare you call it a third? It's not a third world country, sir.
And yeah, we're still alive. It's not even 2 hours yet. It's getting close, but not quite.
Yeah, I'm starting to fade. I was, like I said, up early waiting for these fucking contractors.
But yeah, it is infuriating because just like Teddy said, if you're for the U.S., then I do not care what nation of origin, what heritage you have. If you truly want to be part of the U.S., you are for the U.S. and you are for the betterment of the U.S. Welcome. And it does not matter where your origin was, even if you're a native-born son. If you are against the U.S., if you want to see it fall, if you want to see it beggared, if you want to see it broken, I am against you.
And and you gotta be able to separate that from I want to see changes.
Yep.
In how the system works. Or even I want to see some systems dismantled and reformed.
Yeah, you can call for the dismantle of the Fed without saying that you want the U.S. to collapse.
Yeah.
Or you can say I can criticize my homeland and say, yeah, we did some fucked up shit, but still love my homeland. Yep. It is my homeland. I if I can't say, hey, yeah, in the past we were kind of fucked up, but it is in the past.
Yep.
I don't go to everyone else's homeland and talk shit about, oh, well, in the past, you guys had fucking slavery. Well, so did your fucking country.
Yeah. Yep. Damn near everywhere in the world. Well, not damn near. Everywhere in the world had slaves.
Like, if you built a civilization, at some point, it was built up on the back of a slave.
Yep. Everywhere in the world had slaves. Everywhere in the world was enslaved at some point.
Yes, that is the nature of humanity in the beginning. There was a shit ton that we didn't want to fucking do. Oh, well, I conquered you. So I'm gonna make you sweep the shit off the floors.
Well, again, the thing is that I've said this before, and I've gotten in some hot water for this when I've argued it before.
Mm-hmm.
Slavery was an advancement off of what existed before slavery. Because before slavery was a change in how you handled conquered foes.
Mm-hmm.
So it used to be, oh, you conquered this land, kill everyone.
Yep, wipe them all out.
Get rid of all of them, because if you get rid of all of them, they aren't going to cause a problem.
Well, now we gotta realize now we have to realize, oh crap, we have to carry all the shit we stole, we looted. Well, we kept a few of them alive, we wouldn't have to carry all this shit.
Yep. And it went from kill all of them to, well, kill all of them, or kill most of them and enslave some of them to, well, we don't really need to kill all of them. Let's enslave enough to make a point. And then, well, let's enslave enough to make a point, and then those that we can get to be subjects, let's make those subjects. And it just advanced from there. It's a horrible situation. It is not a good situation, but it beat the shit out of extermination.
Actual fucking genocide.
Yeah. So it wasn't a good thing, but it was better than extermination. It was an advancement. It again is not like the most advanced. It was an advancement. I'm glad that we advanced past it.
Like, it could be worse. We could have had the mind system where, oh well, sacrificing a motherfucking slave to the sun god to make sure that motherfucker rose in the, rose in the easy.
Do you know why the Middle East has such a low population of black people, despite having far more slaves in the transatlantic?
Why?
Gelding.
Yeah. Shit, the homie, the woman king was loosely not really fucking fictionalized history.
Mm-hmm.
They had a ceremony like a king would fucking die, and they would like just offer 100 slaves.
Yeah, but the Islamic world, the reason why you don't see a lot of black Arabs like you do black people in America, is in the Arab world, when someone was taken as a slave from another culture, when they took slaves from Africa, they would castrate them so that they couldn't reproduce. That's the reason why you don't see a lot of black people in the Middle East, despite the Middle East enslaving an obscene number of black people. They enslaved more black people in the Arab world than they did through transatlantic slavery in the West.
Is it like some of the slavery still going on fucking to this day?
Yeah. There's still active slave markets in certain regions of the Middle East. There's one of the things that drives me crazy every time that I hear someone say, well, when's the last time that white people were enslaved for hundreds of years? And I'm going, motherfucker, have you ever heard of the Barbary slave states?
Shit, or have you ever heard the concept of a fucking serf? Slavery just with a different fucking coat of paint.
Well, that is slightly different, but also not terribly so. But it is different enough that you can differentiate them. You can't say a serf is not a slave, but a slave is not a serf, but they are similar. But the main thing
Lord, Sanguine, we're talking about Granny Smiths and Golden Delicious.
Yeah, like I said, they aren't the same. They are similar. But you don't need to go to that, because the Barbary slave states, the Barbary traders, they started before the Reconquista started, raiding Europe for slaves. for the Middle East.
Mm.
Do you know when they stopped?
When?
When the U.S. broke the Barbary slave states. The U.S. as its first act or one of its first acts as a country, when it formed its navy, it went after the Barbary traders. Because the Barbary traders were also pirates. They would capture whatever ships they could. They would take whoever was on board hostage or slaves, and then they would ransom back the ships. Most of the West would pay them off rather than dealing with them. This was at a time when England was considered the undisputed masters of the waves. During that time, in the 1700s, the Barbary slave states raided fucking England. So when England was the king of the seas, the Barbary slave states were able to go up to England, raid their coast, raid Ireland, and take hundreds of slaves back.
Wow.
Most of the European powers would pay off the Barbary states. And they did so because if you paid them off, they wouldn't raid your ships. After the U.S. broke free from England, I think it was Spain originally. It was either Spain or France, one of those two, decided that they would pay for a year for the U.S. without letting us know. They just thought that we knew that this was a thing. After that year, U.S. ships started to be taken. And we started getting letters saying, this is how much you need to pay us in order to get your ship and crew back. If you just care about your cargo, this is how much you have to pay for that. The reaction was the U.S. went, we need a fucking navy. We made a navy. We did a joint attack with the Brits because the Brits were also getting sick and tired of having to pay the Barbary states. The Americans were the spearhead for this. We sacked several of the Barbary states, absolutely destroying them. We took back the ships that they had captured from us and burned down their harbors. Burned down large swaths of their cities. Killed their leaders. And eventually, after we went after the first, I think it was 2 or 3, because the Barbary states were split up into several different sultanates. Or it was either sultanates or satrapies. But they were broken up into several different politically distinct groupings. We then went, okay, anyone else want some? A bunch of them came back and they went, no, we don't. We won't attack your shit. A couple of them failed to respond. Do you know the response that we had when they failed to respond? Any guess?
Sorry, I'm fading the same one.
No problem. After this, we'll head off. But after they failed to respond to us going, hey, we just destroyed several of the strongest Barbary states. We killed their leaders. Don't touch our shit. Are we understood? And they failed to respond. 10 years after we first destroyed a good chunk of them, we went, we gave you how much fucking time to respond? You didn't. Guess what? You're gone. We destroyed those Barbary states. We deposed their leaders. We killed their leaders. And then we looked at everyone else and went, don't touch our fucking boats.
We'll fucking destroy you.
Yep. But the Barbary states, for damn near 1,000 years, were taking slaves from Europe. So every time that I see, when was the last time that Europeans were enslaved for 400 years is normally the one that they throw out. It wasn't quite 400 years, but they always throw out 400 years. Well, how about nearly 1,000? But since you're flagging, let's go around the horn for parting words.
Passionate about Sanguine devour him, don't let Sanguine devour you.
You have no choice if I hunger. Also, Angela, that is correct, but that was more because they looked at it as, oh, there's another group that has to pay tribute now. So
and we did with bullets.
They were willing to acknowledge damn near anyone, and then they found out, oh god, these people are fucking insane.
Is that true, or is it I believe it was it Norway that accepted our first big admiral, and he had to make a flag that they thought it was the American flag, but he made it. Jeez.
Look into that.
He's an admiral, and he's the one who sailed all the way to England and started taking over ships. I can't remember his name, but I think that would have been the first recognition, because they wouldn't accept him in the port unless he had a flag.
Okay, so at the very least, they were among the first.
Yeah, among the first.
Well, like I said, their acknowledgement was more, if we acknowledge them, they have to pay us in order to not get raided.
Yeah.
Let me look that up.
But Adam, parting words?
Well, it was fun hanging out with you guys. It was wonderful conversations. And
Always good time.
Yeah. I love y'all, and good night.
I think I'll leave off with, it is a comforting notion that power corrupts, because it spares us from having to admit we were blind to the darkness, or worse, ignored it. Power doesn't corrupt, it merely removes external governors for good or ill.
All right, really quickly. Morocco was the first nation to recognize the United States as a sovereign nation in 1777. The recognition came through a letter from Sultan Muhammad III to American colonies expressing his desire for friendship and trade, formalizing later in the 1786 Moroccan-American Treaty of Friendship, one of the oldest U.S. treaties still in effect.
Very nice.
Cool.
And with that, I think it's time that we head off. What say you lot?
Yep.
So, good night, everyone. The zoo is closed. Have a good one. Adam, this is when you say good night.
What?
Say good night.
No.
He will not go quality into that good night.
He doesn't want to say good night, and I can't click the button until he says good night, people.
Say the line, Adam. You know you want to.
We're going to be here for a while.
Oh, God, no. We're going to be here forever.
Well, I'm gonna go use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Long never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Started singing it, not knowing what it was. Never sing it on and on, because it's the song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. Some people
started singing it, not knowing what it was.
Yo, just
singing it forever just because.
It's a song that
and
never
Stay in the line.
Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. And they'll
continue singing
on and on because it's the song that yes, it goes on.
Stay in the line.
Friends.
Okay.
Oh, so I no longer have to wait for him because he's no longer here. And now I can click end screen, but it takes a couple moments, so suck it!